right, welcome back.
Yes, have some.
The Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9, AM 990, online, KWAMTheVoice.com. Streaming live on YouTube, the YouTube channel Nation of Jake. Run that all together, one word, Nation of Jake on YouTube. Also on Facebook and the Twitter, at Nation of Jake. In a little bit, we got the news cruise. Next hour coming up. Also some real depressing news. And I was thinking about it. My wife is always the one to tell me about these stories. And I usually avoid news on the weekend. But over the weekend's the only time she catches up. And she's always like, oh my God, did you hear about this little girl who got crushed by a falling tree randomly? I'm like, oh no, why would I? God, no. I'm enjoying my weekend here. I don't need to hear about all this kind of stuff. News is depressing. We'll get into that in mere moments. I know it's very exciting news. I was thinking today about the whole body cameras thing. You know, in light of this Martavius Banks lawsuit against the city of Memphis for $10 million. A couple of things here. Number one, I am pro-police. Okay, I like having a police force. I think it's something that we all benefit from. That said, I like the police in the macro. I love the idea of police. And for the most part, in the micro as well, I think most cops are good cops. Not all of them. But I'm not going to use my support for police in the macro to defend police from anything and everything they do in the micro. There are bad cops. There are cops who make bad decisions. Not everything is done by the book. Sometimes police act inappropriately because they are just not perfect. Okay, sometimes they make mistakes. All right, that does not mean that we should say all cops are bad. I mean, I think that both positions are flawed. All right, saying that, oh yes, because cops are imperfect and they make mistakes and some are corrupt, then all police are corrupt and we should make all of their jobs harder and distrust them all. All right, I don't like either position. That said, I was reminded in this Martavius Banks case, because this has to do with body cameras, just how the body camera rollout here in Shelby County was so messy. It was botched. Now, let me take you back. You know, there were a few years ago, we had a lot of different situations where police were shooting unarmed men. All right, sometimes they were armed, sometimes unarmed. And there were a lot of situations. There were protests, the Black Lives Matter in wake of the Michael Brown shooting in Missouri. And there were a few others. All right, so people decided that body cameras were the answer. There was a small town in California that implemented a police body camera program, and that officer-involved shootings went down by like 99.9%. Like it just that was it. It was the magic bullet, pardon the turn of phrase, in order to stop this kind of stuff because it provided 100% transparency. Now, it got done in a hurry here in Shelby County. I mean, I remember it being, oh yeah, body cameras, we're doing this today. Now, MPD cruisers weren't even at the time equipped with dash cameras, at least not all of them. Now, I've been to other places, and I've done police ride-alongs, and in Texas, where I was doing a riding along one time, in Williamson County, just north of Austin, like in Round Rock, Texas, I did a ride-along with an officer, and I observed what he had, the equipment he had in his car. He had a dash cam that automatically came on whenever he had his light and sirens going. If he was in pursuit, everything was recorded. There was a record of any DUI arrests, and he didn't have a choice. When the lights and sirens came on in his cruiser, so was the dash cam. It was automatically initiated, the video, and he could not turn it off. It was taken out of his hands. And that's really the key here. Now, with the body cameras here, they rolled them out. There was a question with Taser, the company that was to provide the body cameras, on whether or not Deidre Malone and the Carter Malone Group got $800,000. It was part of the deal to do an information campaign. And Deidre Malone was tied in with A.C. Wharton at the time. They were cronies. And so there was a lot of political ugliness that went around with it. But even then, the DA's office, Amy Wyrick's office had to deal with the rollout, okay? How are we going to use these? What's the protocol? What do we do with the video? We need to hire video editors now. We need to hire people to redact all the nudity that pops up on these video cameras. So it was months and months and months and months before they could get the body cameras working. And that's still a process that has not been refined to a T. I mean, I don't think that it does much good having a body camera on an officer if the officer can just turn it off whenever he wants. No, isn't the whole thing supposed to be transparency? And sure, I'm sure officers don't like the idea of a body camera that they do not control on their person at all times. What if you want to go to the bathroom? What if you want to take a break and maybe make a personal call? You don't want that stuff recorded. But, I mean, the whole point is transparency. So I don't know what the answer is here, because we have this situation, a TBI report on this Martavius Banks shooting. 26-year-old Martavius Banks was shot and critically injured by Memphis police in September of 2018. This report by the TBI is put together with all different footage from different body cams, dash cams, and other recording devices. So it probably took a lot of work. It probably took the full year since the shooting occurred until now to piece it all together. The report is the first official detailed account of the shooting, an incident that prompted a TBI investigation, a week of protests, and earlier this week, a $10 million lawsuit against the city. Large sections of the 162-page report include excerpts and comments made by police officers on the night of the shooting. Those comments and other moments captured on video footage reveal how Memphis officers turned off recording equipment at key moments before the shooting occurred. The report also describes officers appearing to avoid video records of their actions and conversations. At least one officer questioned the temperament of the officer who pulled the trigger on Banks. None of this reflects well on the protocol with regards to the body cameras. None of it reflects well on the officer who pulled the trigger. And so I'm wondering, given this report, how far this is going to go in this as evidence in this lawsuit, this civil lawsuit for $10 million against the city of Memphis. Essentially, you have a couple of officers responding to a traffic stop in which Martavius Banks was allegedly armed and led them on a chase, on a pursuit. And then from there on, I'm not going to go through all of it as detailed as they do in the CA here, but you've got guys turning their dash cams on and off, their body cams on and off. Then you have conversations recorded by other officers who arrive on the scene. And in those conversations, they talk of the officer who pulled the trigger, Jamarcus James, about his temperament, saying, man, you know, if anybody was going to shoot somebody, I had my money on James, just given the way he's been out here effing policing and whatnot. And it kind of goes through, and what's really interesting about it is how it all has to be pieced together, because it's all got a time code. It doesn't really make the MPD look good, only with regards to how they're out there choosing to turn the body cameras on and off. I mean, I don't think that any of this can lead you to prove that the officers acted criminally. But this is not a criminal lawsuit. This is a civil lawsuit. But by violating the body camera protocols, you could say, hey, they absolutely acted negligently, or maybe they were trying to hide something. I don't know. You have to maybe go through it for yourself and read it. But what it does show is that guys are just turning them on and off whenever they want. Maybe just because, hey, this is not something we want on tape. We don't want to know. We'd rather not have it on tape, and then it's your word against someone else's rather than have it definitively on tape. But that's the whole point of these body cameras, is to have everything on tape, isn't it? I mean, what about have a body camera on? Hey, you can't turn it off. Guess what? When your shift starts, this body camera goes on your person. We have somebody who is there to make sure that these things are all the video is uploaded and these things have enough space on them for your shift, and the battery's charged for the 8 to 10 hours, maybe more, depending how long these guys work, 12 hours. And then you turn it in, you check it back in. The guys upload the video. The camera's clean. You got a new one. That's just how it's going to work. And you can't turn these things off. Better yet, maybe it's always streaming video. If I have a phone in front of me right now and I can stream this video to the world via YouTube, and then later I can go download it and edit it as I want, then there has to be a body camera that police can use that will stream the video. Stream the video of all your officers and have somebody in master control. Like that, it could help the officer as far as like a situation there where he needs backup. He needs it fast. Maybe you see something before he does. So it kind of goes to the fact that this body camera situation was rolled out way too fast and haphazardly to really, know, hey, what is the protocol here? Should police be able to turn them on and off if they want? I usually give the police the benefit of the doubt. And that's because that's what I'm going to do, especially in situations with, guys who are armed and dangerous and fleeing the cops. I don't know if this guy, we don't know. We don't know because somebody turned the body camera off. So we'll see what happens with that lawsuit. But man, what a mess. It doesn't look good. The TBI report does not reflect well on the protocol at hand with MPD and the body cams. And that's all you can really conclude from it. But we'll find out if that $10 million lawsuit goes to trial and the outcome. All right, coming up, I try to avoid the news on weekends. I try to, but you get these stories that go viral, and somebody just has to tell you about them, and it damn near ruin your weekend. I know this guy, the subject of the story coming up, his weekend got ruined. Life got ruined. Life got ended in a really, really heartbreaking way. And I didn't want to read this story, but it was thrust upon me by my lovely wife, and therefore I'm going to thrust it upon you, but in a very different way because it kind of sounds gross. All right, coming up next right here in the Nation of Jake.
Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
CBS News Update. President Trump was on offensive today amid calls for his impeachment over phone calls made to the president of Ukraine, where he allegedly pressured the Ukrainian leader to investigate Joe Biden's son.
What Biden did is a disgrace. What his son did is a disgrace. The son took money from Ukraine. The son took money from China. A lot of money from China.
Correspondent Laura Podesta.
A whistleblower complaint about Mr. Trump's conversation with the president of Ukraine does threaten to overshadow President Trump's UN trip. Mr. Trump defended his call. He called it an absolutely perfect call, that it was congratulatory, and it focused on corruption in Ukraine. But Mr. Trump also suggested that he did discuss Vice President Biden and Biden's son Hunter in that call.
And the growing controversy over the calls has some Democrats who have so far resisted talk of impeachment to hint that this may be a game changer. CBS News Update. I'm Jim Chenevey.
Your dog is a furry member of your family, and they deserve the highest level of care. Dogtopia has award-winning daycare, boarding, and spa services. They are the safest, cleanest, and most transparent dog daycare and boarding option for you. The best part? You can check in with your dog anytime on the video stream on your phone. Dogtopia, located at Carriage Crossing. Find out more at dogtopia.com to schedule your dog's best day ever.
You've probably heard a lot lately about CBD. How do you know what to take? And is it the best quality? Tune into the Earl Farrell Show on Tuesday at 3:30 and get your questions answered as Earl talks with the leading provider of the highest quality CBD nationwide, found at your CBD store with 3 locations: East Memphis, South Haven, and Cordova. Tune in Tuesday at 3:30 to hear all about the power of CBD right here on KWAM, The Voice.
All right, coming to you live.
Yes, have some.
From the East Memphis studios of The Voice at FM 107.9 and AM 990. It's the Nation of Jake. On YouTube at Nation of Jake. That's the channel. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. And also follow me on Facebook and on the Twitter. The Twitter today is a little bit depressing. This climate conference going on at the UN, there's so much wrong with it. All right, not only is the UN a corrupt body of grifters and jerks and regimes who all they want to do is siphon money from the countries who are actually free. We also have this climate summit, and all week long they're doing this climate protest. And this Greta Thunberg from Sweden, a 16-year-old girl, she's given this really dramatic speech, a scathing speech towards the UN, talking about how they've ruined her childhood. And you just want to say, wow, somebody has traumatized this young girl. And then they have bankrolled her to where she gets to fly around the country yelling at everybody. And she's being lauded as some sort of saint, Saint Greta. And it's really odd. And it's kind of sad and gross. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But I don't want to depress you too much. I've got some inspiring news to kind of counter the depression. Here's my position on news. I do a news-based talk show from Monday to Friday on The Voice, as you probably know. If you don't, welcome to it. This is it. But on weekends, I just check out, man. I unplug on the weekends. I mean, I don't spend all weekend on my phone. I might get on my phone a little bit, maybe post some Instagram photos. My kids playing soccer, go to a lot of soccer games lately. I hang out at the house, get things done around there. Might go swimming down the street. I chill out on the weekends. I go to the gym, fulfill my duty to the arms treaty. I like to relax and decompress and kind of forget about the world. That's why Mondays are so crazy in the Nation of Jake. I'm playing catch up all day long. Well, conversely, my wife, she's out helping cure cancer all week with her job. And then on the weekends is when she gets caught up on everything. And sometimes, she'll be on a Saturday just kind of hanging out on her phone. She'll say, oh my God, what's this whole deal about a Ukrainian whistleblower and the Trump thing? And I'll just have to kind of give her, just the daily download on everything. I'm just like, yeah, look, here's the deal. Here's what this is. And she's like, okay, I feel informed. But then she wants to go ahead and do her own independent research on stories in the news. And then she'll share with me the stories she finds interesting, and they're always really depressing. I'm an upbeat guy, a bit of a closet optimist. I don't like bad news. I don't like sad news. But it seems like my wife is this closet Debbie Downer. Like, she's a really sweet woman, my wife is. I love her to death. I chose to spend the rest of my life with her and have a family with her. And I love being around her, and she's usually a very positive, upbeat person unless she's reading the news. And she'll come across a story, and she'll want to tell you, like, the most awful story in the world. Like, we'll just be sitting there. I'll be having coffee. I'll be kind of planning out in my brain what my day is going to be like. Oh, I can't wait to, watch Eva play soccer this evening. She's really enjoying her soccer team. Oh, yeah, and Olivia's playing soccer, and we got kids doing piano and karate, and it is going to be a great week. And then my wife drops on me a story about a little girl who gets crushed by a tree playing out in her yard. And I'm like, oh my God, that's awful. I didn't want to hear about that. Or something like this. And this is the story that she actually told me over the weekend. I was minding my own business. Last night, watching some football, just hanging out in my chair. Just put the kids to bed. Now, hey, we get to hang out and catch up a little bit. And she wants to share this story with me. This one is particularly awful. A man drowns after proposing to girlfriend underwater. This happened in Tanzania, in Pemba Island. A Louisiana man has drowned after proposing to his girlfriend underwater while the couple was vacationing. Stephen Weber and Kanisha Antoine were staying in Pemba Island in a wooden cabin with a bedroom submerged beneath the ocean surface off the coast of East Africa. Or East Coast of Africa. Yeah, that'd be the same thing. Weber proposed on Thursday by swimming underwater and holding a handwritten note against the bedroom windows. Okay, so this bedroom of this cabin is underwater. Pretty neat. I mean, pretty cool, like cool structure, right? So he put a note inside a transparent plastic bag, like a gallon freezer bag. And then the note read, I can't hold my breath long enough to tell you everything I love about you, but everything I love about you, and I love you more every day. I love everything about you, and I love more every day. And this is, will you please be my wife? Marry me. So he puts this note with his hand, sticks it on the window, which is underwater in this particular room. But then he had to accept her answer of yes by swimming back to the surface, but he didn't make it. Whoever failed to return to the surface, you never emerged from those depths, so you never got to hear my answer. Yes, yes, a million times yes, I will marry you. So this guy wants to do a dramatic wedding proposal, puts a note in a gallon freezer bag, and he swims underwater to put it against the window of this underwater bedroom. Will you marry me? And then he doesn't make it back to the surface in time, and instead he drowns. Kanisha Antoine, his would-be fiance, goes on, we never got to embrace and celebrate the beginning of the rest of our lives together, as the best day of our lives turned into the worst in the cruelest twist of fate imaginable. I will try to take solace in the fact that we enjoyed the most amazing bucket list experiences these past few days, and that we both were so happy and absolutely giddy with excitement in our final moments together. That is brutal. The Manta Resort, where the couple was staying, issued a statement on Saturday confirming the death. Our sincerest condolences, thoughts and prayers are with his girlfriend, families, and the friends impacted by this tragic accident. Local authorities were investigating. The State Department confirmed that a U.S. tourist had died in Tanzania, but gave no further details. We offer our sincerest condolences to the family on their loss. We stand ready to provide all appropriate consular assistance, the State Department said in a statement. That's brutal. That is a brutal, depressing story. But honestly, these are the stories my wife always wants to share with me. It's a running joke in our house that every time I'm just like doing the dishes, hanging out. Hey, babe, it's good to see you. How was your day? Did you read about the story about the really depressing thing? Like, oh, no, I was having a good time. I run into all that stuff all week. I don't want to hear about that on a Saturday. That's it. Oh, awful. Just awful. Keep it simple, guys. Just, hey, if a woman loves you and wants to spend the rest of her life with you, all you got to do is ask. All you got to do, get down on one knee, ask her dad if you want, I don't know, and get a ring. And you can do the dumbest thing in the world. She's going to say yes if it's meant to be. And you really shouldn't be asking unless you know. It shouldn't be really. See, when you propose to a woman, it should be like, yes, she is going to say. You probably should have already talked about this with her. It should never be like a surprise. Like when you go to baseball games and they have like usually basketball games, NBA games. If a woman ever says, no, I won't marry you, like, you know, at the Memphis Grizzlies game, then that's a setup. That's not real. Women usually don't say no to getting married because it's something you probably already talked about. So just keep the theatrics out of it. No reason to go to the depths of the east coast of Africa. Just get her a nice ring, take her to dinner. Will you marry me? Boom. Or, hey, don't even ask. That's that. Marry me. Bam. Tell her what to do. Marry me. Okay, fine. Don't. You know, if she says no, fine. Don't. Fine, then don't. I'll find somebody else to marry, lady. All right. That's all I've got for you on that. However, I want to counteract that depressing story, not with some Prozac or Wellbutrin. I want to counteract that with some good news. Yeah, inspiring news. Yeah, those boys who were bullying the kid at the school in Fraser, and they realized the error of their ways, and they self-corrected, and then they decided to give him clothes. They were on Ellen DeGeneres. All right. Not only did they get to go on Ellen, they got to meet an icon. Yeah, a superstar, and they also made out pretty well financially on this whole deal. I'll tell you all about it next right here in the Nation of Jake.
The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, stop. Don't do anything until you talk to my man, James Underwood. James Underwood has been helping people like you navigate the Mid-South real estate market for more than a decade. So whether you're looking to buy your first home or you want to upgrade to your forever home, James Underwood can help make it happen. No gimmicks, no guarantees, just a rock-solid guy that I've known for 25 years. So now, if you're looking to buy or sell a home, hit up James Underwood with CryLike. JamesUnderwood.crylike.com. That's JamesUnderwood.crylike.com.
Tee off to support Memphis Oral School for the Deaf at the 10th Annual MOSD Golf Tournament on Thursday, September 26th at Cherokee Valley Golf Club in Olive Branch. Join us for a hot-off-the-grill barbecue lunch, hospital wings, exciting helicopter ball drop contest, a full day of golf, and an Outback Steakhouse awards dinner with fantastic prizes. A day of fun for you on the greens, all to help deaf children learn to listen and talk. Register to sponsor or play at mosdkids.org.
Expert service guaranteed. Call 866-EXPERTS.
That number could save you up to 30% on your energy bills. When you call today, Service Experts Heating and Air Conditioning can hook you up with a furnace tune-up. Right now, save $20 on a furnace tune-up. Service Experts Heating and Air Conditioning, your hometown Memphis tune-up pros.
Call 866-EXPERTS.
See website for license details.
At your age, you should know better. The Best Times helps you make better decisions that affect all areas of your life. Whether you're looking for the best place to move to in retirement, a new car, auto repair, entertainment, how to save money on medications, latest safety devices, home medical options, or financial advice, you will find all that and more when you pick up your free copy of The Best Times at one of over 250 locations throughout the Mid-South. The Best Times, the source of quality information for mature Mid-Southerners for over 33 years.
Triumph Bank strives to make banking easy for our customers. You have a lot of choices when it comes to banks, so we invite you to visit one of our local offices in Memphis, Germantown, Collierville, and Arlington to see for yourself how our team, backed by our state-of-the-art online and mobile services, can simplify banking for you and your business. Triumph Bank, invested in our communities and making banking easy for you. Triumph is a member of the FDIC and an equal housing lender. TriumphBank.com. Let's talk growth.
All right, welcome back to it.
Yes, have some.
The Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9, AM 990. Online, KWAMTheVoice.com. We got the YouTube, the Facebook, the Twitter, the Instagram. Nation of Jake, anywhere you go on the internet, you can find me. Keep that in mind, because we might get separated one day, and you might need to find me. All right, so this video went viral last week. You had some students at Martin Luther King College Prep up in Fraser. They were captured on camera giving some clothes to another student. Christopher Graham and Antoine Garrett, they had like taken part in some bullying of a kid named Michael Todd. This kid, Michael Todd, wears the same clothes every day, and people were clowning him. So everybody's laughing at him. But then the next day, these kids, Christopher and Antoine, they got together and said, hey, let's give this kid some new clothes. Like, we feel bad about what we did, making fun of him and laughing at him. And, we wouldn't want to be made fun of for wearing the same clothes every day. I mean, and here's the thing about Michael Todd. You got to get over that, buddy, because I wear the same clothes every day. And nobody bullies me. You know why nobody bullies me? Because I got in the gym, and I got together with a janitor at my old school who lived in the basement. He taught me how to fight. And that's why nobody bullies me. That said, it's not cool to bully people. And this viral video, it caught the attention of everybody. Everybody's watching it, thousands upon thousands of views. And this was an example of the right way to handle a bullying situation. So these kids, they got invited to the Ellen Show, as we reported on Friday. And here's the clip is great. The clip is fantastic. Ellen DeGeneres, she's always really good about putting these things in the spotlight and rewarding people with the attention and whatnot. And then another celebrity, big time movie star, got involved. And here's part of that exchange here on the Ellen DeGeneres Show with these guys.
Shine a light on you. So
Will Smith, come on out.
And these kids are like, holy crap, Will Smith. Will Smith comes on out. He's excited to see these guys. High fives all around, bro hugs. Applaud, the crowd's loving it. And he's like, oh yeah. Getting jiggy with it and whatnot. So he was obviously impressed with the video. And after these people get done hooping and hollering, you hear what he says.
What is up?
Hey, Will.
Ellen!
Hey, Will.
Thank you.
Thank you.
People love Will Smith.
All right, Will.
Can't wait to watch the movie.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Gemini Man. Thank you. It's very cool. So I saw the video, and me and Jada were sitting around. I was like, that is fantastic. And there is no way that I'm letting this pass without making contact with these kids. And what you did felt small to you, but I promise you that is exactly how human beings are supposed to interact with one another.
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty cool. These kids get to meet Will Smith, and he's like, oh, the video was, fantastic, man. Oh, man, me and Uncle Phil, this is how we had it on the Fresh Prince. Oh. That's how he talks. It's weird. I like Will Smith. He seems like a pretty good dude. So Will Smith hooks them all up. He gives them all this, New Balance gear because, hey, he's got a New Balance partnership. And he's got not only a hookup to give to these three, Antoine, Christopher, and Michael, he's also going to give some New Balance shoes and gear to all the kids at the school, 600 kids at this school. And then Ellen DeGeneres, one-ups Will Smith and says, hey, I'm friends with some rich people at Shutterfly, and these kids all got a check for $10,000 each. $10,000. Which I'm not sure that sends the right message. Now people are going to go, hey, let's go around making viral videos of being nice to bullied kids so we can get $10,000 too. So it just goes to show, being nice, it pays off in the end. In the amount of $10,000 each. No, it's a good story. I'm happy for those guys. A good story coming out of M-Town here. All right, coming up, what's happening at the UN? Ugh.
Serving Tennessee, Mississippi, and Arkansas. The latest news stories are here. This is KWAM Memphis.
This is CBS News on the Hour. Real news, real reporting.
I'm Jim Chenevey. President Trump is in New York for the United Nations General Assembly, and the latest controversy surrounding his presidency followed him there. Nicole Killian reports.
Mr. President. Arriving at the United Nations this morning, President Trump again insisted he did nothing inappropriate when he spoke to Ukraine's leader.
We had a perfect phone call with the president of Ukraine. Everybody knows it. It's just a Democrat witch hunt. Here we go again.
The July 25th phone call is in the spotlight after a whistleblower's complaint to the intelligence community's inspector general. According to the Wall Street Journal, during the call, Mr. Trump urged the Ukrainian leader 8 times to investigate 2020 presidential candidate Joe Biden and his family.
On the sidelines of the General Assembly, the UN is holding a climate action summit. Secretary General Antonio Guterres.
Nature is angry, and we fool ourselves if we think we can fool nature, because nature always strikes back, and around the world, nature is striking back with fury.
Some nations have signed on to a ban on coal within a decade. The FBI has arrested a U.S. soldier for allegedly discussing a plan to bomb a U.S. news network. Cammie McCormick reports.
According to the court documents, the soldier, Jarrett William Smith, discussed bombing a major American news outlet and the ease with which he could build a bomb. He allegedly provided online instructions to others. He was communicating first with another American and then with an FBI informant, and later Ryder, an undercover FBI agent.
British travel giant Thomas Cook has gone belly up and has stranded hundreds of thousands of travelers in the process. CBS's Chris Van Cleve.
Thomas Cook was the world's oldest travel firm, and its collapse immediately impacts about 150,000 British tourists currently on vacation around the world, including here in the U.S. The UK is now launching the largest repatriation of its citizens in peacetime to bring all of those folks home.
There are 3 active tropical weather systems out in the Atlantic. CBS News meteorologist David Parkinson.
Tropical storm Jerry may bring some wind and rain to Bermuda, but otherwise is not going to be a threat to land. Tropical storm Carrington will pass between the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico on Tuesday evening, bringing both heavy rain and a little bit of wind. Eastern Puerto Rico could certainly see some damaging conditions, but for the most part, it's a fairly disorganized system.
And Tropical Storm Lorenzo has formed off the coast of Africa with 40-mile-per-hour sustained winds. On Wall Street right now, the Dow is up 51 points, the Nasdaq up 10, the S&P has added 3. This is CBS News.
The CBS World News Roundup Late Edition with Jim Chenevey.
President Trump held a series of meetings today on the border wall.
Every weeknight on the CBS Radio Network.
The U.S. is in debt, and the IRS is getting more aggressive, using private agencies to track you down, seize your assets, and even start the process of taking away your passport. Dealing directly with the IRS can be a daunting experience. Oxford Tax Partners has the experience and the reputation at substantially lowering your IRS debt, or even having it forgiven. Don't wait. If you owe more than $10,000, take advantage of the Fresh Start Initiative. If you qualify, it will stop the IRS collection agencies from coming after you. Let the experts at Oxford Tax Partners get you protected once and for all. Call Oxford Tax now at 800-575-1919. That's 800-575-1919. If you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS or haven't filed your taxes in past years, with one phone call, you may be on your way to having your taxes forgiven or substantially reduced. Find out more. Call the tax experts at Oxford Tax Partners for a free consultation now at 800-575-1919. 800-575-1919. That's 800-575-1919.
CBS's Diane King Hall has an update on negotiations between the UAW and General Motors.
The United Auto Workers strike heads into its second week. Union officials and GM company leaders are still trying to hammer out solutions to concerns over wages and benefits. The strike is the longest national walkout since 1970.
And GM today furloughed 1,200 more workers in the U.S. and Canada. There's a jewel thief on the loose in New York's Trump Tower. Police are investigating a series of thefts of jewelry from apartments in the building, about $350,000 worth in all, including a $117,000 diamond bracelet. Motown founder Berry Gordy has announced his retirement. The 89-year-old says he's come full circle, celebrating Motown's 60th anniversary over the weekend. Gordy built Motown into a music giant fueled by R&B, soul, and funk. He sold the record label in 1988, but remained active with the Motown Museum's $50 million expansion campaign. Jim Chenevey, CBS News.
The U.S. is in debt, and the IRS is getting more aggressive, using private agencies to track you down, seize your assets, and even start the process of taking away your passport. Dealing directly with the IRS can be a daunting experience. Oxford Tax Partners has the experience and the reputation at substantially lowering your IRS debt, or even having it forgiven. Don't wait. If you owe more than $10,000, take advantage of the Fresh Start Initiative. If you qualify, it will stop the IRS collection agencies from coming after you. Let the experts at Oxford Tax Partners get you protected once and for all. Call Oxford Tax now at 800-575-1919. That's 800-575-1919. If you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS or haven't filed your taxes in past years, with one phone call, you may be on your way to having your taxes forgiven or substantially reduced. Find out more. Call the tax experts at Oxford Tax Partners for a free consultation now at 800-575-1919. 800-575-1919. That's 800-575-1919.
What, named after the dog? Welcome to the Nation of Jake on The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
All right, welcome back.
Yes, have some.
The Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9, AM 990. We're online, KWAMTheVoice.com, and streaming live on Facebook. Check that, YouTube. Yeah, YouTube is the channel. Nation of Jake is the channel on YouTube, I should say. What? I've been paying attention to other things, obviously. Forgot how to introduce my show here in the second hour. YouTube channel, Nation of Jake. Facebook and Twitter at Nation of Jake. On this rainy Monday. It hasn't rained in a while, and now it's pretty steady out. I wonder if they're going to cancel any of the soccer games. We did soccer all weekend, and we have a couple of games scheduled for Monday and Tuesday. It's going to be like 5 games in 4 days for the little one, getting into the competitive soccer season. So we'll see. I mean, I don't know how long this rain is supposed to stick around. They're saying more thunderstorms later this afternoon. We shall see. I'm glad to see it, and a lot of people are glad to see the rain. We haven't had it since, last month. It's been like August since it rained, like early August. So be careful out there on the roads. You know, they get slippery if you're not used to driving in the rain. So that's going on here in M-Town. We've been talking about what's going on with Donald Trump in this whole controversy over the whistleblower. There's a whistleblower out there who didn't really have a whistle to blow. They heard somebody else's whistle, which wasn't being blown. I guess they heard a dog whistle or something. And they heard that Donald Trump had made some inappropriate promises to the president of Ukraine. He said that he would, maybe give them some aid, some financial aid if they investigated Joe and Hunter Biden, some of the dealings that happened, some stories of corruption from the vice president, Joe Biden, now running for president here in 2020. And now Donald Trump is being accused of trying to influence and collude with the Ukrainians in the 2020 election. All because a whistleblower, who, by the way, had no direct knowledge of the phone call, but instead is just kind of going on hearsay and rumors, has said so. So now there's mounting pressure to impeach Donald Trump. Donald Trump is up at the UN today. There's a UN General Assembly. And he's answering all these questions about Joe Biden and the Ukraine. And he's just kind of dismissing it as, look, there was nothing inappropriate that went on. He said it was a perfect phone call. Right? And he's just saying, no, there's no there. This is another witch hunt. And it sure seems like it could be, given that it went from, hey, a whistleblower complaint to the Inspector General. Okay, well, let's see who the whistleblower was and what's their complaint. Oh, well, it turns out this whistleblower didn't have direct knowledge of the situation. It kind of falls apart right there, doesn't it? It doesn't really carry the same weight if this isn't somebody who was on the call actually hearing a quid pro quo agreement or at least a proposal from Donald Trump to the president of Ukraine. Instead, they're saying, oh, this is a smear on Joe Biden. Yeah, Joe and Hunter Biden, they've already been investigating about this, and there was no wrongdoing on part of Joe Biden when he decided that he would withhold funds from the Ukraine if they did not fire a prosecutor. And there's tape. We heard it earlier of Joe Biden talking about just that. So that's one of the many things going on up at the UN General Assembly this week. The other thing are these climate protests. All right, and these started on Friday. There are people up in New York outside the UN twerking in the street. Very hard to take them seriously right now because, honestly, with regards to climate change, if there were meaningful reforms that could cut down on the amount of CO2 in the atmosphere or air and water pollutants. But instead it always just goes to, we got to be more socialist. And we can't eat meat. And we can't drive cars. And we have to end using coal. And we can't use nuclear power. We just have to reduce our dependence on fossil fuels. And some of you clowns are going to have to do without. In fact, there are many parts of the world who are living in poverty because they don't have things like electricity or coal or fossil fuels, and they're all living in squalor. We need to be more like them. We need to divide the shortages. Honestly, it all comes down to that. Think about it. They want to ban air travel. They want all cars to be electric, even though you can't afford all the cars to be electric. They don't even want the stopgap of nuclear power, which is quite useful and quite clean. A long time ago, it was dangerous and people were scared of it, but I think exactly 0 people have died as a result of using nuclear power. And so I guess there's only one Democrat who's saying that nuclear power has to be part of anybody's serious climate change policy. That said, right now, the child of the hour, I would say man of the hour, I would say woman of the hour, but this is a child. Her name is Greta Thunberg, and she's from Sweden. And somewhere in this warped timeline, she became the face of the climate change movement. That's right. Not a scientist, not somebody with an understanding scientifically of how the Earth warms up and cools off naturally. Natural variability is what they call it. It has a lot more to do with the giant orange mass of incandescent gas in the sky and the Earth's in relation to the Earth's proximity to it than it does your SUV or your steak that you go eat. There's a lot more to do with the sun than it has to do with anything. But instead of having a scientist being the face, and I'm talking about a real scientist. I'm talking about Bill Nye, the science guy. Instead, I guess it's more advantageous to have a 16-year-old girl be the face of this. So Greta Thunberg, for whatever reason, I seriously do not know why I know who this person is. She has become the poster child for climate change reforms. And she now has, number one, she went sailing across the world. She has been going to all kinds of, climate conferences and whatnot. And now she's in front of the UN. She is castigating all the members of the UN right now. She's in front of them, reading them the Riot Act, a very impassioned speech. Let's give a listen to Miss Thunberg and what she has to say.
This is all wrong. I shouldn't be up here. I should be back in school on the other side of the ocean.
So far, I agree. This is all wrong. I shouldn't be up here. I should be back in school on the other side of the ocean. She's making a whole lot of sense so far. Because I will agree, you shouldn't be up there. You should be back in school on the other side of the ocean. Go on.
Yet you all come to us young people for hope.
Who comes to young people for hope? I don't go to young people for anything. Young people are dramatic and ignorant and broke. I have never gone to a young person for anything at all. I have young people. I own 2 young people. They're 7 and 5 years old. Before I know it, they'll be Miss Thunberg's age. I've never gone to them for anything. I have gone to them to tell them, get ready for school. We leave in 2 minutes. I go to bark orders at young people. That's what I've earned as a 40-year-old man. Seriously, who told her that people are going to young people for hope? I'm not going to young people for hope. Young people don't know as much as older people. You know who I go to for hope? Smart people, successful people. That's who I go to for hope. I go to people like me, just mediocre losers who have somehow succeeded. And I find out, oh, look, that guy's a mediocre loser just like me. How did he succeed? And I'm like, it gives me hope. That's what I do. I go to other ugly people who have hot wives for hope. That's what I do. I don't go to young people for hope. Who fed her head full of lies? Go on, Miss Thunberg.
How dare you? You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words.
Who stole your dreams and your childhood except the people who are allowing you to go to the UN and make an idiot of yourself? Because that's what you're doing. You're being exploited. I will agree that your childhood's been stolen, absolutely, by your parents or these people who have designated you some sort of climate martyr. I don't know. There are depictions of this girl as like a saint being painted and displayed around the world. And they want to say this is not a climate cult. No, this is not a climate cult. Yeah, we just take 16-year-old girls and we make paintings depicting her as a saint, and we put all our trust in this 16-year-old girl who goes in front of crowds and gives really dramatic speeches about her childhood being stolen. You've stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words. This madness goes on and on. Let's go.
This is all wrong.
Oh, yeah, she gets
I shouldn't be up here.
I agree.
The words, and yet I'm one of the lucky ones. People are suffering. People are dying. Entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you?
My God, they're letting her do this. Oh, this is crazy. I don't mean to sound like I'm attacking a 16-year-old girl. I'm not. She's obviously been traumatized. She's parroting the same kind of stuff that we've heard for 50 years. Oh, this is going to be an ecological disaster. We're living in a time of extinction, which we've been told over and over again. I was told the same crap when I was 12, 13, 14 years old. But nobody said, march me out there. Now, Jake, go out there and cry about this. Because nobody's going to attack you because you're a kid. I mean, that's the sick part, is they're like full-grown human adults who are totally cool with this. I'm not cool with this. And she's right. You know what? There are people who are dying and people who are starving. And those people are living under socialism. Those are the ones, seriously, every answer they have for the climate change question is socialism. Now, if you want to talk about people who are suffering and starving, let's talk about mass starvation. Let's talk about Venezuela. They're part of the United Nations, aren't they? Yeah, let's talk about the Maduro regime. Let's talk about people waiting in lines for food. Let's talk about the zoo animals being eaten. And we're all out of zoo animals. Now what happens? Well, on average, your citizens lose 19 pounds. It's the Venezuelan diet. You lose 19 pounds from malnutrition because there's nothing to eat. So the North Korean diet. Yeah, NOCO. North Korea, part of the United Nations, by the way. People in North Korea are half a foot shorter than the people in South Korea on average. Half a foot, 6 inches shorter. Why? Because they've been malnourished to the point where they don't grow as tall as South Koreans. And South Koreans not known for being very tall. I don't know a lot of, 6'5" South Koreans. That's why I guess you don't have South Korean gutter cleaning services like you do with Bill de Blasio. That said, I mean, she's right. There are people out there starving. And you know why they're starving? They're starving because of oppressive regimes who are part of the UN. And what they do is they go to the UN and they try to shake down nations who actually have economic freedom. And they shake them down for aid. It happens all the time. It happens all the time. It is the biggest scam in the world is the UN. And they're saying, yeah, America's isolated at the UN. The General Assembly is breaking with the U.S. on most votes. Reports fine. Who are these 10 countries most out of sync with the U.S. regarding the votes there in the along with the U.S. aid they received in 2018? This is really interesting. These are the countries that are most out of sync with us, yet we still give them a bunch of money. Burundi. I don't know where Burundi is. They get $69 million. Syria is out of sync with the U.S. with regards to our UN General Assembly votes. Syria, I'm fine with being out of sync with Syria. Syria is run by a mad, murderous dictator, Bashar al-Assad, who gasses his own people. Totally fine with not being in sync with Syria. $819 million, by the way, we gave to Syria in 2018. Hey, our friends in North Korea, the aforementioned short North Koreans due to malnutrition, $2.6 million in aid. Turkmenistan, heard of it. I'm fine with being at odds with them. Venezuela gets $25 million in aid, and Venezuela is a third world you-know-what hole, and I'm totally fine with being out of sync with Maduro in Venezuela. Nicaragua, we gave them $30 million. I don't know much about the government of Nicaragua, but if we're out of sync with them, I'm fine with it. Cuba, duh. We are out of sync with Cuba. I'm fine with that. Niger, they get $573 million in aid. $500 million. Seems like maybe they should be more in line with our interests. But maybe, I guess, if we raise up the price, they will. Yeah. And then Iran. So of these countries, the ones that I know a lot about, Iran, Venezuela, North Korea, Cuba, and Syria. That's 5 of the 10 who are most out of sync with the U.S., along with the money we give them. Unreal. See, that's about it. That's about it. Like, you know, they want either more money or they want to vote against us. And Donald Trump is really not in the business of appeasing these other countries of the UN. So I'm not sure who gives a frog's fat ass about America being isolated at the UN. I think it's cool. I think it's good. We do our own thing. And then, of course, I mean, the UN is just a corrupt. It's everything they do is non-binding. It's a nice idea, isn't it? The United Nations. Yeah, it makes you think about like the Justice League, doesn't it? Meanwhile, at the United Nations, a Hall of Justice kind of deal. Like, we are nations and we're united. And United Nations, it's good. It's positive, right? It's got a positive name. It's the United Nations. It's garbage is what it is. It's a bunch of takers who want to shake down the makers by doing bogus climate studies saying that the earth is being threatened and ecosystems are going to go extinct and we're living in the age of mass extinction. They already tried that, man. For 50 years, Paul Ehrlich and those goobers over in microbiology for Harvard, whatever he is, these people have been sounding the alarm bell for half a century now. 5 decades they've been doing this. And now you got, you know what we need? We need more children. We need more children as human shields in this battle for the climate. Give me a break. The people in charge of this girl, and there are people, it's not just her folks, it's all the handlers, it's all these people. She's benefiting in some sort of way, man. She's flying around, she's seeing the world. I got to give her credit on this. Her English is very good. In fact, the Emmys were last night. Maybe she should get one. Give her an Emmy for the Turn on the Waterworks. Maybe she really is scared, though. And also, I think that has to be looked at. She's been traumatized. I mean, if she really believes it, I don't care what she believes. She doesn't know anything. She's 16 years old. I'm not going to her for hope. I'm not going to any young people for hope. I don't know who fed her that line. It's ridiculous. So it's a ridiculous position to take. Going to you for hope. All right. You know what? I'm going to change gears a little bit, talk a little TV tonight. People are excited, especially here in Memphis, the Bluff City, for Bluff City Law. The legal drama makes its debut on NBC. I've got some questions. There are some answers to the questions, but also, do we need another legal drama on NBC? I mean, that's really the question that I want. I mean, how well can we expect Bluff City Law to do just from the standpoint of where we are in media in 2019? Let's talk about Bluff City Law next right here in the Nation of Jake.
The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
If you're a baby boomer here in the Mid-South area, this message is for you. We've designed a brand new radio show with you in mind. It's The Retirement Income Doctor, hosted by Dave McAdams of the McAdams Group. Each week, Dave will teach you retirement strategies that have worked year after year, decade after decade, in any kind of market. That's right, the Retirement Income Doctor will teach you these strategies. So join us Saturday mornings at 10 for the Retirement Income Doctor.
Don't miss out on the best golf tournament in the Mid-South. Join us for the 10th annual Memphis Oral School for the Deaf Golf Tournament at the beautiful Cherokee Valley Golf Club in Olive Branch on Thursday, September 26th. Enjoy a hot off-the-grill lunch by Backyard Southern-style seasoning, an exciting helicopter ball drop contest, a full day of golf, and a delicious Outback Steakhouse Awards dinner with lots of prizes. Every dollar raised helps deaf children learn to listen and talk. Sponsor or register today at mosdkits.org.
When's the last time you looked at the windows in your house? Not through the windows, but at the windows. Really looked at them. There's dirt, streaks, buildup, smudges, fingerprints, paw prints, spider webs, dead bugs. There's little white speckles. I have no idea what they are, and who knows what else. Now, cleaning all the windows in your house makes a big difference, but it's also a big job. That's why you need Just Windows Home Services. Just Windows has been taking the pain out of window cleaning since 1992. Just Windows cleans all types of windows, storm windows, screens, skylights, interior, exterior, upstairs and down. Now, I know I told you the company is called Just Windows Home Services, but they do a lot more. Roof and gutter cleaning, pressure washing, mirrors, blinds, ceiling fans, light fixtures, chandeliers. Look, if you've got hard to reach areas of the house, then you need Just Windows Home Services. Call for a free estimate, 751-3934. That's 751-3934, or get them online at justwindowsmemphis.com. That's justwindowsmemphis.com.
I talk with healthcare professionals to bring you the latest wellness information Tuesdays and Thursdays on Live Life Well. Listen in and get tips like this to help you get started on your road to wellness.
You have to commit to seeing what you've been doing, taking ownership of what hasn't been working, and committing to make a change. Because a lifestyle change is something that you're going to have to work at.
I'm Bernadette Davis, and I've got you covered every Tuesday and Thursday on Live Life Well. Listen in during the Mary Beth Conley Show on AM 990 and streaming live on KWAMTheVoice.com.
At your age, you should know better. The Best Times helps you make better decisions that affect all areas of your life. Whether you're looking for the best place to move to in retirement, a new car, auto repair, entertainment, how to save money on medications, latest safety devices, home medical options, or financial advice, you will find all that and more when you pick up your free copy of The Best Times at one of over 250 locations throughout the Mid-South. The Best Times, the source of quality information for mature Mid-Southerners for over 33 years.
Welcome back to the Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9, AM 990, online, KWAMTheVoice.com. Streaming live on YouTube, Nation of Jake there on YouTube, also on Facebook and Twitter at Nation of Jake. All right, having a little trouble with my microphone. It's gone limp. Won't stay up, having trouble keeping it up here in the studio today. My microphone, that is. We got the debut tonight of Bluff City Law on NBC. The new legal drama debuts at 9 p.m. Central. They've been promoting this hard, man. Every website I go to, you've got a Bluff City Law ad. You watch NFL on NBC last night. Game between the Browns and the Rams. Rams won, by the way. It was close, though. But yeah, every time they come back from break, they've got the guys talking about Bluff City Law, the latest legal drama. And what's cool about Bluff City Law is not only the theme song. Have you heard the theme song? It's Bluff City Law, y'all. Yeah. I'd love to hear that as a theme song. It's not. That's not the LA Law theme song. Jeez, that's Law and Order. It's also that it's filmed right here in Memphis. It's been shot right here in Memphis. NBC has ordered an entire season of this. 9 episodes have been approved and currently in production, which is cool because they've tried to do shows based on Memphis and shot them elsewhere, and they haven't gone very well. I don't know if it's because they weren't shot in Memphis. It was because the one show I'm thinking of, Memphis Beat, with Jason Lee, it was just kind of a garbage show. But this one is being shot entirely in Memphis, so-called the Bluff City. And so NBC's kind of all in on this. They've been promoting the hell out of Bluff City Law. I guess I just wonder a few things about this. When people see Bluff City Law, let's say they're watching the Rams and the Browns last night, and people watch the Rams and the Browns, hell, if you're in LA, maybe you watch it. I don't know. The Rams out there. Or if you're in Cleveland, or hell, if you're in Dallas and you're checking out that game, do you know what the Bluff City is? Is it going to be different enough from other shows, other than the fact that it is shot and takes place in Memphis? I mean, is that enough to sell another legal drama? How many network legal dramas have there been? Plenty, right? Boston Legal, The Practice, the whole Law and Order universe. I mean, courtroom shows have been a staple of every season of network TV. What about this show is going to be different to keep people interested from week to week, because it has changed the way that we watch TV now? All right, people are cutting the cord. People aren't just sticking with the network shows. Let's take LA Law. You saw Jimmy Smits in LA Law along with Corbin Burnson. That show was big. It was a good show, I guess. Jimmy Smits was good in it, I guess. I don't remember much of it. I was probably 10, 12 years old when that show was on air. But that said, you only had really channels 3, 5, 13, and 24. Maybe you had some cable, but cable was largely just a big empty void. Back then, you had a few cable shows, not a whole lot of original programming, mostly syndicated stuff. It's just changed the way people watch TV. You've got all these different options. You got Netflix shows. You got Amazon Prime shows. You're going to have this Disney streaming service coming out. Everything has gotten more niche. That the mass appeal legal drama, what about this show, is going to be different than other shows like it we've seen. Not only have we seen legal dramas over and over and over, we've seen Jimmy Smits in a legal drama before. Multiple legal dramas. He's kind of the legal drama guy, is Jimmy Smits. So please don't get it twisted. I hope the show is good. I just hope they're not betting it all on it just being about Memphis or the Bluff City for it to do, because the Memphis mystique, it really doesn't always translate. We love Memphis. We know it's the Bluff City. We have a complicated relationship with Memphis. Let's put it that way. That said, what does it carry any weight elsewhere? Because look, it may do very well here. They may get a bunch of TVs in Memphis because of the pride of being from the Bluff City, but they need TVs in New York. They need TVs in LA. They need TVs in Chicago. They need TVs in DC. This is going to be on right during Monday Night Football. And I get Monday Night Football's on ESPN, so it's not really a network thing anymore. But that said, you've got Redskins and Bears tonight. So your TVs in the DC area, Virginia, East Coast, Mid-Atlantic, along with Chicago, and then various other places, because NFL is huge. It's going up against Monday Night Football. And do people really do the network shows like the on-demand stuff? I guess you can watch episodes on demand. Do people DVR it? I guess it's really, really difficult these days, this old model of a big network show, especially given, the legal drama. Is it going to be more character-driven, or is it going to be more like, ripped from the episodes? That's what Dick Wolf always did very well with Law and Order. I mean, will it be like Law and Order where you have the rip from the headlines stories that are adapted to fit into this, father or daughter who were once estranged here in Memphis fighting these big civil lawsuits? Or will it be more about the relationship as father and daughter? You saw this with Law and Order. Law and Order was more like anybody could be in Law and Order. They had new DAs and new assistant DAs and new cops. The original, Jerry Orbach. And then Sam Waterston was the big player in there. He wasn't even the first, but he was probably the most recognizable. But it didn't matter. It was about the stories. These are their stories, right? And then they had Criminal Intent, which was more about the characters Gorin and Eames. It was more about Bobby Gorin and his psychological stuff going on. He kind of his methods. And you had SVU, which was kind of like a mix of both. The stories along with the relationship with, Cragen and Stabler and Benson. And I watched all those shows. So look, I'm the kind of guy who you want watching your legal drama because I know a lot about it. And I'm the target. Hell, you put on a show about Memphis, I'm going to watch it. I wonder also, if I was living in Atlanta still, If I never move back to Memphis and this show gets into production, oh, you bet I'm going to watch it. A show about Memphis? Heck yeah, you might get some Memphis expats all tuning in. But will it be enough? Will it be different enough? I don't know. I just don't know, because with network TV, they have to serve the people who regularly tune in, so you have to give people what they expect, but you got to keep them interested enough. We saw this with the network sitcom and how it changed. Back in the day, in the days of Seinfeld and Friends, you had these one camera plays pretty much with a laugh track. And that's what it was. And then it evolved into, shows like Parks and Rec and Community and Modern Family and The Office. Multi-camera, no laugh track. And so it's different. And so it's just, will the NBC legal drama, the network legal drama evolve to the point, and what's the competition like? Is it just going to be like an archetypal, NBC show? I mean, you've got a bunch of those. They've got one on CBS called All Rise. Oh, just say, yeah, legal drama. Is it going to be cookie cutter and just kind of adapted to take place in Memphis? Or is Memphis going to be in the center of it? And if Memphis isn't the center of it, I mean, who's going to really care about that outside of Memphis? I asked these questions. I hope it's good. I will give it 2 episodes. I will personally watch 2 episodes. And if I'm still interested and I want to keep watching, I'll keep watching. If not, I will decry it as crap. And I will hope for its cancellation. I'm just kidding. Because I know, look, it'd be big if this turns into like Nashville did on ABC. Nashville, it was a big show. It was around for a long time. A lot of people got to work. A lot of people here, or in Nashville at the time, they got experience in the business and it contributed to the economy. So I'm rooting for it. But man, I don't know. I think we might be past this era of cookie cutter cop drama, legal drama, hospital drama. There's always something. It just seems old hat. And then the Jimmy Smits thing. It might work for you. It might work against you. Oh, Jimmy Smits is in it. That should be good. Yeah, Jimmy Smits is in it. I've seen that before. It'd be cool if it was actually a spinoff of L.A. Law. Same character. Jimmy Smits practicing law in L.A. way back in the early 90s. And kind of like how his life has kind of taken him and spit him out in Memphis, Tennessee. I'd follow that story. I'd love to see how Jimmy Smits got from L.A. to Memphis. All the years, all the flashbacks, all the de-aging, all the different facial hair you could put on Jimmy Smits, make him into like old Wooly Willie. That'd be fun. All right, coming up, we've got the news cruise, all the latest headlines from around town and around the world. We'll do it next right here in the Nation of Jake.
The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
CBS News Update. President Trump is dismissing talk that he may face impeachment over a phone call to the president of Ukraine, where he allegedly pressured the Ukrainian leader to investigate Joe Biden's son.
I didn't put any pressure on them whatsoever. You know why? Because they want to do the right thing, and they know about corruption, and they probably know that Joe Biden and his son are corrupt.
In the meantime, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer putting pressure on Majority Leader Mitch McConnell regarding the withholding of that whistleblower complaint from Congress. CBS's Bill Rakoff.
In that letter, Schumer is demanding that McConnell act now to stop the Trump administration from withholding the whistleblower complaint from Congress. Specifically, Schumer wants Senate hearings on the matter. He's calling on the White House to release transcripts of calls to the Ukrainian president, and the letter pushes for a subpoena for the whistleblower's complaint itself.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi suggesting this latest controversy may have crossed the line. She has resisted calls for impeachment up until now. CBS News Update. I'm Jim Chenevey.
The Mary Beth Conley Show, weekdays at 12 noon.
You can find the headlines and noisy debate anywhere, but if you want a true discussion, if you want an exploration of someone's life story, if you want inspiration out of an ordinary person's experiences, that's why you should come to the Mary Beth Conley Show at noon on KWAM The Voice, now on FM 107.9 and AM 990. We'll help you live life a little bit larger through the lives of other people. I hope you join us. I promise it'll brighten your day.
Did you know that your potential customers look at your website and determine your credibility within 8 seconds? Make sure your business reflects the quality service you provide. Contact Control Alt Design for a free quote today. Today's marketplace is very competitive and you need a professional web presence. Control Alt Design offers web design at a fraction of what the larger firms charge. Control Alt Design has been helping local businesses stand out on the web for over 20 years. They also offer logo design, business card design, flyers, brochures, and more. See their work today at ControlAltDesign.com.
We've got a new show for you. Every Sunday at 5, hosts Kendrick and Matt are well-known, well-respected, well-loved makeup artists in Memphis. They know all the who's who, what to do, where to go, and who to see. With a combined 25-plus years in the industry, including fashion and styling, and their love of a good party, they are your go-to resource. So tune in Sundays at 5 for Ho Sauce.
The special event florist for the Mid-South is Lynn Doyle Flowers. They are famous for creating incredible floral arrangements and are available to fill even your last-minute needs. From the simple to the magnificent, their staff can create unique arrangements for your special occasion. Flowers always bring a smile, make someone's day, and for fast, convenient delivery, call Lynn Doyle Flowers today at 901-323-4521 or visit their beautiful new location at 6225 Old Poplar Pike.
This is Clark Howard with a special warning for you. The bad old days are back inside bank branches. When you go in and you complain about what you're earning on savings or CDs, and a lot of banks now, they'll say, oh, go talk to Jane or Jim over there. Well, they are some kind of insurance salesperson or investment professional who will then pitch you on something that they'll never use the word what they're actually selling you. Some kind of trashy annuity. I want you to know that it's become really dangerous inside a bank branch when you are unhappy with what you're earning on your savings account, that before you know it, you've made yourself vulnerable to them putting you in a horrific insurance contract for an annuity that locks you up for 10 years or more at huge fees for having it, and then huge fees if you want to get out.
The backyard's looking great, Rob.
Thanks, man. I was planning on adding a deck, too. Know any good contractors?
Why don't you just ask Home Advisor?
Home what?
HomeAdvisor.com. You just tell them about your project and they match you with local pros that can do the job.
Nice. Now, how much does it cost?
Oh, Home Advisor's totally free to use. Plus, you can read customer reviews, check pricing, and book appointments for free.
What's the website again?
HomeAdvisor.com. Or just download the free Home Advisor app.
Home Advisor. If you have hard water, the lime scale not only leaves white spots, it clogs pipes and breaks down appliances, costing you hundreds of dollars in energy and wear. Eliminate lime scale and other water issues like brown staining, bad odors, and lead with HydroCare water products available from Wave Home Solutions. Wave's affordable systems don't use salts or chemicals. You'll love the way your water tastes, smells, and looks. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, go to WaveBestWater.com. That's WaveBestWater.com.
All right, welcome back to it.
Yes, have some.
Nation of Jake on The Voice here, KWAMTheVoice.com, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, just at Nation of Jake, wherever you go on the internet. We've got a news cruise to get to. I promised you we would hop on the boat. I don't want to disappoint you like many of your fathers have before, so I'm going to keep my promise, and we're going to go all aboard
News
on the news cruise.
Exciting and new. Come aboard. We're expecting you. The news cruise. Full of exciting news. The news cruise. So relax and kick off your shoes.
All right, welcome aboard the news cruise. By now you should know it's brought to you by Just Windows Home Services. Those guys can not only clean your windows inside and out, upstairs and down, leaving them spotless. They can also clean off your roof, clean out your gutters, ceiling fans, chandeliers. They can do pressure washing, that could be pressure washing your house, the siding on it, or just your patios, walkways, driveway, or your deck. Those are the guys to call if you need some heavy-duty cleaning or things that are high up on your house or in your house. Just Windows Home Services. Give them a call, 751-3934. That's 751-3934. You get 20% off when you tell them the Nation of Jake sent you. That's right. You get a free estimate plus 20% off. All you got to tell them is, hey, heard about you from Jake. Yeah, the Nation of Jake. That's the guy. And you can get them online there at justwindowsmemphis.com. First up on the news cruise, looks like Kamala Harris had to bail out of that campaign stop here in Memphis on Sunday. She was scheduled to be at, I believe, East High School. She canceled the town hall. She was scheduled to talk at about 6:30 about her 3 a.m. agenda to address the problems that keep Americans up at night. According to her campaign, Harris bailed on Memphis to extend her time in South Carolina to attend a memorial service. At this point, there's no word if it'll be rescheduled. Tennessee will hold its primary on Tuesday, March 3rd. I guess that'd be Super Tuesday. And here's the way it works. Right now, Kamala Harris is on the ropes. All right, she may not get out of Iowa. She's putting everything on Iowa. Now, Iowa and New Hampshire, they're the first, and then South Carolina is shortly thereafter. So doing campaigning in those early states before Super Tuesday, way more important than you in Memphis. Got it? She put South Carolina ahead of Tennessee. Always remember that these guys are playing a political game. So I don't blame her personally. She doesn't hate Memphis. She doesn't hate you. But she might. She decided that she was just not going to show up and canceling that with that little notice. I'm sure a lot of people were excited, like at least 12, 13 people were crestfallen that Kamala Harris didn't show up for her scheduled campaign town hall. Oh, we've got Shelby County Democratic Party is warning voters of fake sample ballots mailed out before the Memphis municipal election. Oh, they're sounding the alarm. Election mailers that are confusing and misleading. The mailers display a logo claiming to be from the Greater Memphis Democratic Club. In the middle it reads, "Re-elect and vote for those who have been in this struggle with you." Well, the Shelby County Democrat Party has not released a ballot for the city elections. So these ballots, they claim to be from Democrats. They are paid advertisements from a shadow organization produced by unknown individuals. Ooh. There are 4 endorsements on the mailer. Cody Fletcher, Ford Canale, Chase Carlisle, and Worth Morgan. They are candidates also endorsed by the Republican Party of Shelby County. So look, but who's to say there's not a club called the Greater Memphis Democratic Club who endorsed these guys? So they're saying, this is going to sow confusion. They think so little of voters, don't they? They think that you're so stupid that you would be confused by a mailer. Like, if you're somebody who doesn't pay enough attention to who you're voting for and you're relying on the Shelby County Democrat Party or the Shelby County Republican Party to tell you who to vote for, you're not a free thinker and you're not really voting, are you? All you're doing is carrying out your duty as your overlords feel is necessary. That's really it. So they got the voter confusion on the mailers out there. I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's legit. Who knows? 4 pedestrians have been struck by cars in Memphis over the weekend. They say that this city, city of Memphis, the Bluff City, is dangerous for pedestrians, like always. Like with regards to all the crosswalks, the busy streets with not enough places to traverse them. We have 4 over the weekend. 4 pedestrians struck by cars.
It was one of them by the Saddle Creek.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I was there. I thought somebody was just coming to complain to Comcast, and there was a fire truck, an ambulance, and 2 Germantown police cars. I said, so what happened? Said somebody got hit by a car.
Well, that would make 5 because that's not even on my list here.
Well, see, that's Germantown, and they don't often report that.
You know what is really, really dangerous is Poplar and Kirby. I'm always seeing, because people don't want to go all the way down to Poplar and Kirby to cross, so they will cross right there from Carrefour over to the Kroger, or from, wherever that there's like a little Papa John's and stuff right there, and they'll cross over to where, There's a bank, and there's
Used to
a
be,
Backyard Burger. It used to be Kenny Rogers Roasters over there.
Yeah.
Cozumel's and all that.
Well,
so
it's also right there at Bank of Bartlett's Caddy Corner.
Yes.
And there used to be a
Bank of Bartlett, Carrefour. There's
Romano's.
Sure, yeah, the Macaroni Grill used to be there. Right.
About
And so
5 years ago, I called her. A woman was standing on the corner on the northeast corner, and a big tractor trailer cut that corner and ran over her. She wasn't even in the street. She was standing on the sidewalk. Killed her.
Ugh, man, it's brutal. It's brutal. You know, I know it's not always easy to get down to the crosswalks, but man, Poplar's a beast. Just don't cross Poplar unless you are at a crosswalk, and even then, you gotta keep a lookout. Well, you know, we're gonna end the news cruise on this one. This is good news for everybody in Memphis, and also especially good news for a Memphian like Earl Farrell. Former Memphis Tiger Tony Pollard with his first touchdown for the Cowboys in their win over Miami. You know, it's so funny. I was checking the box score. I wasn't watching any football, but I checked the box score just to look in on how Tony Pollard's day was going, the former Memphis Tiger, and they had a big old win. I mean, it wasn't even close. The game, Miami's in shambles. They're like tanking for a top pick, I guess. That said, I looked up and I was like, oh man, Tony's got 11 touches for 81 yards. And just as that happened, my dad called me, and he told me that Tony Pollard ran one in.
He looks good.
So he had 100 yards and a touch. He looks real good. And, man, having Zeke Elliott and Tony Pollard, and Dak can run it around too. Cowboys, I don't know if the Cowboys are for real this year. I hope for your sake, Earl, they are.
I do too.
That said, they haven't played anybody yet. We'll see. You playing
this weekend? Because I'll tell you what, New Orleans looked really good considering they lost Drew Brees.
Yeah, Teddy Bridgewater got it done against Seattle.
Man.
So yeah, it was a fun weekend in the NFL. I'll tell you what though, the Patriots are really missing Antonio Brown, aren't they? They'll just beat your ass. It's part of life. The Patriots will do it. All right, coming up next, we're going to get you set up for the Earl Farrell Show, and I also want to talk about pregame hype music. I've been charged with coming up with the pregame music for my kids' soccer games now. She likes to get hyped up before the games. She's playing a lot more. She needs something to keep her excited about it. And I've got some selections that I came up with over the weekend to hype up my kids for sports. We're going to talk about that and get things set up for Earl. We'll do it next right here in the Nation of Jake.
The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
Stop everything you're doing right now and ask yourself, are you currently receiving steady paychecks? What about when you're retired? Will you receive a monthly check to cover your expenses and also have some fun? Dan Groban and Phil Menard at Servant Advisors Group call this mailbox money. It's the monthly check you'll receive throughout retirement. They want to help remove stress from your retirement. They don't want you to worry about if the money will show up or how much money you'll receive. The only thing they want you to think about is how to spend it when it arrives. Find out how to get enough money in your mailbox every month when you're retired. Call Servant Advisors Group at 855-260-1000 for a complimentary retirement analysis with strategies that could help your nest egg provide you monthly income you'll need in retirement. Call right now, 855-260-1000. Servant Wealth Management is a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Servant Advisors Group, LLC. Insurance licensed in Tennessee, Mississippi, and in Arkansas.
Hi, this is Ludi Calloway, the mortgage lady with iBank Mortgage. What's going on in the home mortgage business? After several years of record low interest rates, a terrible recession, and plummeting home values, things are finally turning around. But what does that mean to those interest rates and home values? What's Congress going to do to us? Join me Monday morning at 8 and I'll tell you what's happening in today's still changing mortgage world. It's the mortgage lady with Ludi at iBank. Every Monday morning at 8. You ask the questions, I'll give you the answers.
If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, stop. Don't do anything until you talk to my man, James Underwood. James Underwood has been helping people like you navigate the Mid-South real estate market for more than a decade. So whether you're looking to buy your first home or you want to upgrade to your forever home, James Underwood can help make it happen. No gimmicks, no guarantees, just a rock-solid guy that I've known for 25 years. So now, if you're looking to buy or sell a home, hit up James Underwood with CryLike. JamesUnderwood.crylike.com. That's JamesUnderwood.crylike.com. All right, about 10 minutes away from the Earl Farrell program.
Yes, have some.
Here on The Voice. In the meantime, we'll finish up the Nation of Jake here on a Monday. We got another soccer game tonight. We played in a soccer tournament. I say we, my daughter, Eva played in the soccer tournament, so 3 games in 2 days. They went 2-1 on the weekend. She's still getting real comfortable with this whole competitive soccer thing. And I guess she did well enough on this team she played with to be invited back. She was playing with the A team. She's on the B team now. She's still learning, more developmental. But she got invited to play this tournament over the weekend with the black team, right? The A team. And so she got invited back to play tonight. And then she has her own game tomorrow. So we're going like 5 games in 4 days. So it's getting pretty serious with soccer, and you got to keep your kids motivated. All right, and so we always ask my daughter on the way to the games, what song does she want to listen to get hyped up, right? And she has some suggestions, and I'm like, all right, is that really a hype song? She's been asking for stuff like Old Town Road. She likes the Lil Nas X. That's all the kids do. She was asking for, I don't know, some songs like something from the Black Eyed Peas, and I vetoed that. Earl, what do you listen to get hyped up if you ever need to get just like amped?
Nah. Hey, goodbye.
You for real?
No.
That's like a hype song?
That's the only way I can think of it.
Oh, that's what you sing in victory after you've got, you've
You've
stopped them. Yeah,
yes.
You've won. You've stopped them. You're going to kneel it down and let the clock run out. You might taunt somebody with that.
I tell you what, Ron Childers made a tape for me that had all those kind of songs on it years ago when I was
Gonna Fly Now,
Yeah.
Like
all
Rocky.
Very upbeat.
Yes.
Very,
let's go get 'em. Stuff like from Survivor. Yeah. Anything off the Rocky soundtracks are good.
Yeah.
I went in a different direction with my kids. I offered her up a song called Ghost Chant by a band called Poison the Well. And I can't think of a better hype song for a 7-year-old girl than this one. It's probably the best one ever. And so I played this at full blast in the car on the way to Mike Rose Soccer Complex on Sunday morning.
You're so probably so charged up about getting out of the car. That's what was exciting about this one.
Oh, no, man. And here's the thing. I thought maybe they would be like, no, Daddy, no, it's too heavy. It's too loud. They were into it, man. It's awesome. My kids are going to be so screwed up. Years of therapy awaits them. Seriously, my kids, they've got a Gen X 40-year-old pops when they're 5 and 7 years old, and I'm introducing them to all kinds of music that their friends are going to have no idea what this stuff is. They are going to be like, what? You guys don't know Poison the Well? Poison the Well is awesome. And so I don't know what the future looks like for these kids, but they're either going to be awesome or they're just going to be complete and total outcasts. And I'm okay with either, I think. This is another selection from Poison the Wells that You Come Before You, 2003. Oh, man, so good. And I can't even be sure what they're saying, but, it doesn't matter. They scream and yell like Cookie Monster, heavy guitars. That's good stuff, right?
My dad introduced me to Benny Goodman and Ink Spots and Glenn Miller, and I liked, But then
But is that hype? Here's the thing. When's the first time you heard, like this one? Like you heard, did you even know what that was, Earl, when you first heard it? Like, what is that?
I don't know.
You still know. This is Thunderstruck, my man. This is
Wait a
AC/DC, the great AC/DC. Okay, you know this one. Oh, Earl.
I've been under a rock.
It's all right, buddy. It's okay. All right, Earl Farrell's up next. He will have his favorite hype music, I'm sure. Some Benny Goodman or whatever it was. I'm going to get out of here, and I'll tell you how the soccer goes. And we'll do it tomorrow at 1. I'll be back. So long, and thanks for all the fish, by the way.
This is the Voice KWAM Memphis. The latest news stories are here. This is KWAM Memphis.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans.
I'm Jim Shenevy. President Trump is worried